All right, Cowboys Nation, buckle up, because we've got a lot to talk about today. The Dallas Cowboys are heading into one of their most intriguing matchups of the season, a road test against the Denver Broncos. And while on paper it looks like the Cowboys should handle business, this one feels like the kind of game where anything can happen. The spread might say Dallas is slightly favored, but the vibe going into Sunday feels way more balanced than that. Denver's defense has been among the best in football, and they've been doing it quietly, shutting down opposing quarterbacks, limiting big plays, and creating pressure like a storm brewing in the Rockies. Now, before we dive deep in what the Cowboys have to do to grab a win, let's talk about where things stand. Dallas has been trending upward lately, thanks largely to Dak Prescott, who's been playing lights-out football. Over the past few weeks, he's looked confident, in control, and completely in sync with his receivers. This version of Dak is what fans have been hoping for. Poised in the pocket, sharp with his reads, and spreading the ball around with precision. But this week will be one of his biggest challenges yet because the Denver defense isn't one that gives up much easily. They're ranked near the top in almost every major defensive category. Points allowed, yards per game, success rate, expected points added per play, you name it. They're physical, upfront, disciplined in coverage, and they know how to disguise pressure. That's what makes this matchup so fascinating. It's strength versus strength. Dallas's explosive offense against Denver's suffocating defense. If the Cowboys want to come out of this one with a win, Dak has to keep playing at that elite level we've seen lately. He doesn't have to be Superman, but he needs to continue managing the game smartly, reading blitzes and keeping drive alive. He'll have to be efficient, take what the defense gives him, and trust his playmakers to turn short gains into chunk plays. Speaking of playmakers, the Cowboys are dealing with a few health concerns that could have an impact. There's been talk about Doc's hand being a little swollen after last week's game, but it doesn't seem to be anything serious. Trayvon Diggs, on the other hand, is in concussion protocol, and that's a situation worth watching. Usually, those take about a week to clear, but it all depends on how he responds over the next few days. The defense needs him. His ability to flip a game with a single play is unmatched, and against a Denver offense that struggled to find rhythm, he could make a huge difference if he's on the field. There are also a few other injury updates to keep in mind. Kenny Clark is expected to play despite dealing with a sore elbow, and the team made a smart call resting Marshawn last week because he clearly wasn't at 100%. That extra rest might just pay off now. Cooper Beebe, though, might need a bit more time to recover from that nasty high ankle sprain. And the same goes for Andy Cornelius and Juan Thomas, who've both been dealing with minor issues. It's one of those weeks where every little bit of depth matters, especially against a team like Denver that thrives on forcing mistakes and punishing teams that aren't fully healthy. On the other side, Denver comes in looking pretty fresh. They're mostly healthy, though they'll be without Dre Greenlaw, who got himself suspended after a heated moment with the officials last week. That's one less problem for the Cowboys to worry about because Greenlaw's energy and intensity are always a factor. Even so, Denver's defense has been so cohesive that losing one player might not slow them down much. They've got talent at every level. Strong edge rushers, fast linebackers, and a secondary that makes you pay for throwing lazy passes. And that's where the offensive line for Dallas has to step up big time. Keeping Dak Prescott upright has been one of the quiet keys to their success this season. The Cowboys have allowed one of the lowest pressure rates in the league, and that's no small feat considering how much Dak likes to hold on to the ball to let roots develop. But Denver's pass rush is a whole different animal. They lead the NFL in pressure rate and sack rate, which basically means if your protection isn't airtight, they're in your backfield before you can blink. Nick Bonito and Jonathan Cooper have been relentless off the edge, and even the interior linemen like Zach Allen and John Franklin Myers know how to collapse the pocket. So the offensive line's communication and discipline are going to be huge. Denver loves to disguise their pressure. Sometimes they'll send a linebacker, sometimes a safety, and sometimes they'll make you think a blitz is coming, only to drop everyone back. The timing of their get-off is elite, second best in the league, and that gives them just enough of an edge to disrupt rhythm plays. Doc's quick decision-making will be tested, and that's where his experience has to shine. He's seen just about every defensive look possible, and when he's calm and collected, the offense tends to flow beautifully. Now, we can't talk about the Cowboys without mentioning the run game, and this week, it might just be the secret weapon. Javonte Williams has been a revelation this season. The guy's running with power, vision, and confidence that we hadn't seen since his rookie year. He's averaging over 5 yards a carry and finding ways to move the chains consistently. This game could be personal for him, too. Facing his old team, the Broncos decided to move on from him, and you can bet he's got that circled in red. Denver's run defense has been solid overall, ranking among the top 10 in limiting yards per carry and explosive runs. But they haven't faced a runner quite like Javonte this season. If Dallas can get him going early, it could open up the play-action game for Dak, making it that much harder for Denver to tee off with their pass rush. Defensively, Dallas has to keep building on what they showed last week. Against Washington, they look sharper, more cohesive, and better at limiting explosive plays. That's going to be critical again this week because Denver's offense, while inconsistent, can still hit you with big plays if you're not disciplined. Bo Nix, their young quarterback, has had an up-and-down season. He's athletic, can make throws on the move, and has moments of brilliance. But he's also shown that he struggles against complex zone coverages. That's something the Cowboys could exploit. Mixing up coverages, disguising pre-snap looks, and forcing Nix to make quick reads could lead to turnovers. And turnovers on the road are momentum changers. Now, here's the part that feels almost like a curse. The Cowboys haven't beaten the Broncos in forever. 7 straight losses. The last one came all the way back in 1995, and the last time Dallas won in Denver was 1992. That's more than 3 decades ago. To put that in perspective, the last time the Cowboys walked out of Denver with a victory, Bill Clinton was in his first year as president. It's been that long. Maybe this is the week that streak finally ends. Vegas has the Cowboys as narrow favorites, but that line makes you think there's something unpredictable about this game. It's the kind of matchup where one turnover, one big defensive stand, or one clutch kick could decide it. Dallas has been playing inspired football lately, and if they can keep that same energy, stay disciplined, and avoid the mental mistakes that have cost them in tight games, this could be the moment they flip the script. So, here's where we are. Elite Dallas offense, bruising Denver defense. And a lot of history between these two teams that adds an extra layer of motivation. If Dak stays hot, if the line holds up, and if the defense continues to tighten things up, the Cowboys can absolutely take this one. It won't be easy. It never is in Denver, but this team has shown flashes of resilience that feel different this year. Something about the way they're responding to adversity just feels more mature, more composed. What's really going to decide this game is how well Dallas adapts once the ball is kicked. The Broncos are not a team that beats you with flash. They beat you with control. They slow the game down, force you into mistakes, and make you grind for every inch. Their head coach has built a defense that thrives on discipline and patience. If you give them momentum early, they'll choke the life out of a game. That's why Dallas needs to start fast, stay sharp, and not fall into the trap of playing Denver-style football. When the Cowboys play loose, aggressive, and confident, they can hang with anyone. But when they start second-guessing themselves, that's when trouble hits. This matchup also has a mental side that people often overlook. Playing in Denver is tough, not just because of the altitude, but because that crowd gets loud and stays loud. It's one of those places where communication has to be perfect. Offensive linemen can't afford to miss signals. Receivers can't misread adjustments. And Dak has to keep everyone calm, even if things get chaotic early. The Broncos' home field advantage is real, and for a road team, it can be suffocating. But the Cowboys have the kind of veteran leadership that can handle that. This is where experience comes into play, especially for players like Dak, CeeDee Lamb, and Micah Parsons who know how to channel noise into focus. Speaking of Parsons, this could be a statement game for him. He's had moments this season where he's been nothing short of unstoppable, but he's also had stretches where teams have successfully schemed him out of plays. Denver will absolutely try to do that, double-teaming him, chipping him with tight ends, maybe even throwing some misdirection runs his way. But Mike is too smart and too athletic to stay quiet for long. If he gets a couple of early pressures or forces a turnover, that could flip the momentum instantly. And with Bo Nix still adjusting to the speed of NFL defenses, one mistake under pressure could snowball quickly. Bo Nix has been one of the more fascinating young quarterbacks to watch this year. He's not bad by any means. In fact, he's got a calmness that you like in a young player. But he's also playing in a system that doesn't let him take too many risks. The Broncos coaching staff clearly wants him to play within structure, stick to quick reads, and avoid turnovers. That's fine against weaker defenses, but against a team like Dallas, you need to be able to stretch the field a little. If Nix can't push the ball vertically, the Cowboys will have a field day crowding the short zones and taking away the easy completions. That's where Dan Quinn has to be at his best. Mixing pressure looks with disguised coverage, show, blitz, dropout, show zone, send a corner. Keep Nix guessing every snap. The Cowboys' defense has to play chess, not checkers, because Denver's offense isn't explosive, but it's methodical. It wears you down if you're not disciplined. One of the most underrated parts of Dallas's success this season has been their situational defense. On third downs, they've gotten better at bending but not breaking, forcing field goals instead of giving up touchdowns. That will be crucial again this week because Denver loves long sustained drives. They don't mind taking 8 minutes off the clock as long as it ends with points. Dallas can't let that happen too often, especially on the road. Getting off the field quickly will give Dak and the offense more chances to find rhythm. And rhythm is everything for this Cowboys team. When Dax is in rhythm, when he's seeing the field clearly and his timing is on point, Dallas becomes incredibly hard to stop. CeeDee Lamb has quietly been the heart of this offense. His connection with Dak seems stronger than ever, and he's found ways to make tough catches in traffic that keep drives alive. Against this Denver secondary, he'll have to work for every yard. Pat Surtain is one of the best cornerbacks in football, and he's going to make CD earn it. This is a heavyweight duel, one of the best route runners in the league going up against one of the most technically sound defenders in the game. If Lamb can win even half of those matchups, the Cowboys will be in good shape. But Dak will also need help from the rest of the receiving core. Brandon Cooks has to find space underneath. Jake Ferguson has to be a reliable safety valve over the middle. And Tony Pollard needs to make an impact in the passing game. This Denver defense thrives on forcing quarterbacks into predictable decisions. So spreading the ball around is the best way to keep them honest. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. Whispers are growing louder in Dallas as the Cowboys appear to have pulled off a move that could redefine their defensive front. Sources close to the organization hint that Carl Lawson, the relentless pass rusher known for turning quarterbacks' nightmares into reality, has signed with the team. While the official announcement has yet to hit the media, insider suggests that the deal is imminent, and if true, it could turbocharge the Cowboys' front seven in ways fans have been dreaming about. Lawson's arrival would inject an immediate spark into a defensive line that has shown flashes, but struggled with consistency in past seasons. The 28-year-old edge rusher brings not only a track record of double-digit sacks, but also a versatility that allows him to line up in multiple spots, keeping offensive lines guessing. Imagine him side by side with Micah Parsons, whose explosive first steps and sideline-to-sideline speed have already become legendary in Dallas. The combination could be nothing short of terrifying for opposing quarterbacks. Rumors suggest the Cowboys see Lawson as the missing piece to complement their aggressive defensive scheme, a piece that can take the pressure off other defenders while creating more chaos up front. Fans are buzzing and social media is alight with speculation. Could this be the Cowboys' answer to finally establishing a dominant pass rush that matches their offensive firepower? Analysts note that Lawson's presence could elevate not just the sack totals, but the overall defensive identity, forcing teams to rethink their game plans. Some whispers even hint at creative blitz packages and stunts designed specifically to maximize Lawson's unique skill set. While nothing is officially confirmed, the murmurs around Dallas are hard to ignore. Should Lawson's signature hit the dotted line, the Cowboys' front seven would instantly become one of the most formidable in the league. For now, fans are left to imagine the chaos, the tackles for loss, and the game-changing plays that could define a season. One thing is certain. If the rumors are true, the Cowboys' defense is about to roar louder than ever. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next.